Hey everybody. Today is the day after Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everybody. You can see behind me there, I'm out here trying to get one of these big brush piles going where we had all our dirt work done on our place. But anyway, and that kind of getting rid of some of the Christmas wrapping paper and stuff like that, using it, try to get the fire started. I dropped two videos on y'all this past week. One was the beginning of the project Big Blue. The other was putting a radiator in Dad's new 6.2 Denali that he bought. So anyway, I'm hoping today we get back on Big Blue. Dad's got some stuff he's needing to bring over and work on too. And then hopefully we can get back on Big Blue and get the motor out of it. As soon as we get the motor out of it, I'm going to start tearing into it a little bit. I'm going to show y'all that process the best I can, just so I can kind of show y'all what to look for those of you that don't know. And not just that, but those of you who do, or maybe have an even better idea than I do, please comment and tell me something you've seen or looked for or whatever. But one thing I do want to show y'all for sure is this distributor. Y'all see there's not even a button left in the middle of it, okay? And the plastic is wore all around those edges right there. I think y'all can see, yeah, there you go. You can see that pretty well. There's those that don't know, that very center where that hole's at, there should be a little brass looking button right there. Now the actual contacts over here on the sides look okay, but so there was the distributor. Now look at this right here. This is the rotary button. Hey, look, I just found the little brass piece that's supposed to go in the distributor. It just fell. Now it's down there on the ground at my feet. But anyway, you see this contact. Let me see if I can get where I can point a little bit for y'all instead of having to hold the camera and the rotary button here, or the distributor, I mean. But y'all see this piece right here, okay? Most of you, if you're watching this channel, you know that that's not right. It's supposed to come all the way over here to the center. It'll come up, have a bend in it, and come all the way over to the center. All right. And y'all seen what that had done to the distributor. So, for one, first question is how was this thing running anyways? But I know it was, because we know who we bought it from, and I've actually seen it drove. Got a buddy that drove it home from one of the car shows for him one day. But what I do want to tell y'all about this is something that seems to be getting very common in the old small blocks. I don't know if it's the quality of distributors we're buying now, or if maybe it's just a lack of maintenance that we're doing. But I've noticed it in several old dirt track cars, circle track cars. And now I'm seeing it here. I'm seeing rotary buttons like that one just wore completely out. Distributor wore completely out. I mean, that thing had to be arcing off in there for a while. And quite honestly, had to have some small misfire, I would say, at least. But the thing is a lot of times we don't notice those small ones, especially in a truck like that that's a standard with no torque converter or anything to build up and all that. But anyway, I've seen them do that, like what I just showed you. I've seen rotary buttons come loose. One of the screws come out, it pops up sideways, or maybe it gets a little out of time because one of the screws is loose. It pops up sideways and spins around. It's a little out of time. One of the last ones that I seen was somebody thought they had it locked, had the timing locked, but they didn't. It still had advance on it. They set their timing for it to be locked, so they set it at, say, 32 to 35 degrees, and then it was still advancing. So either way you go with any of these things, most of the time, what ends up happening to these motors is you gall a piston up, or you burn a hole in a piston, or maybe you break a ring land. Anything that can be caused by a misfire, especially a constant misfire under load, is what can happen to these motors. So after seeing what I just seen on the distributor cap and the rotary, I expect we tear into this motor right here and probably gonna find some pistons that are messed up. Do I think that's what seized the motor? No, because I do see bearing material on the oil filter, in the oil filter, and the oil was very black, I mean, and very thick, like it was almost like tar. Okay, so the motor's out. We're about to take the clutch, pressure plate, all that stuff off the back end of the block, and that way we can set it on the engine stand. Once we get all that done, I'll start videoing us tearing it down. Like I said, I'll show y'all what we find. All right, so we've got the truck, or the engine, on the engine stand. We've got all the rocker arms loose. Dad's pulling rocker arms right now. So far we haven't seen any major damage up here, but it does have some wire on it for sure. But like I said, so far we ain't seen anything bad up here. Okay, so we found the culprit. We pulled the heads. I'll flip the motor back over here in a little bit and show y'all that. There was nothing there as far as valve train goes. The pistons aren't in bad shape. They do have a few places where there was some detonation, like I was telling y'all would be because of how the distributor looked. I knew that would be there. We pulled the oil pan. Well, let me back up. Once we got the heads and everything off, we were able to spin the motor over, but not nearly as freely as we should have been able to. We pulled the oil pan. I'm shining light on here, so hopefully y'all can see this. But there's just bearing material everywhere. I mean, it's built up. There's chunks of it over here on this side. Just a lot of those chunks you see ain't sludge. That's actual bearing material. But I'll show you right over here. It didn't take but just a second once the oil pan was off to realize what had happened. Don't know if the bearing spun and that's what caused them to quit getting oil, or if maybe the bearing material filled up the oiling holes in the crankshaft. But you can see right here, that's dry as a bone. I'll put the light on it. It's even turned colors because of how hot it's been. Then you go to this set, and you look right here, and they are oiling. Nothing really wrong with those. So you got 1 and 2, or yeah, 1 and 2, and then you got 3 and 4 here that's good. Then you go right back here to 5 and 6, and you've got another set that had quit oiling. And there's literally, let me get over here on the other side. Maybe I can show y'all. Right there, there's bearing material just mashed completely out of that one. Same way back here on this set. And then 7 and 8 are good like 3 and 4 are. But the next step that we've got to figure out is getting this harmonic balancer off. We put the puller on it, can't get it to budge at all. Of course, with this set that wasn't oiling being up here, that means that crankshaft, the snout of the crankshaft probably got really, really hot also. So that could be part of our problem trying to get the harmonic balancer off.
This is also a 60 over engine.
Yeah, like I said, I'll flip it back over in a little bit and show y'all. But if there's anything wrong with the cylinder walls, then this motor won't be buildable as far as for a street engine, because it's already 60 over, and it's actually got some decent little dome top pistons in it. But so far the cylinder walls, let's see if I can show y'all. So far the cylinder walls ain't looking too bad. They're smooth, but there's not really any ring groove. So as long as we don't find any deep scratches or anything like that, we might be able to just hone it and go back together new rings and things like that. But of course, like we said, the original plan was to put a different motor in this truck anyway. We just thought if we could save this one, we would save it. But anyway, that's where we're at. That was the cause of it. Was, I'm gonna say, the inserts in the rods probably spun inside the rod, probably spun the bearings and caused it to quit oiling like it should on those 4 cylinders. And that's probably what happened. Okay, so we got all the rods out of it, got the mains off of it, crank off of it, harmonic balancer out. The biggest thing I want y'all to see is this right here. This is 2 rod bearings that are just mashed completely out, and they've actually friction welded themselves together. I'm gonna have to cut them off the crank, and you can see the discoloration of the crank here versus the ones that were good. It's all bronze colored and everything. This one over here, I think, got even hotter. It's actually eat into the crank a good bit, so it'll need a crank. I'm not gonna say we couldn't have this crank worked, but more than likely we'll just put a new crank in it, because it's too hard to find people that get stuff done in a timely manner now. That and be the perfect opportunity, we may go ahead and put a stroker kit in it or something, because we're gonna need rods also. Show you over here, a couple of these rods are actually ate into on the bottom. This one right here being one of them. You can see that lip right there. It eat into that rod really bad. Dad was saying that if this motor hadn't locked up, it probably would have winded the block pretty quick. It was definitely on its way out when it locked up. So, and we know for a fact at least one set of them rod bearings had spun. Know that for a fact because we could see it when I pulled it apart. But anyway, it is apart now, and we're at the point now of cleaning it up. The cam looked okay. I'll show y'all right here. We were talking about it being some dome top pistons and being 60 over. I know you can't really see it in the video there, but it's got 060 stamped on these. So anyway, like I said, everything looked pretty good. There was some wire on the camshaft. It is, of course, it's an old flat tappet cam, but and it was nothing, just real aggressive. And it's kind of hard to see, but it does have some heat marks on it, and those heat marks that are on the cam are on the same cylinders that the bearings were spun on and that weren't oiling. So, but again, no ring groove. So far, still haven't found anything in the cylinders that worry me. So good chance it's going to be a buildable block. Hopefully just be able to hone it, put crosshatch back in it and put it back together. Like I said, we'll get a new crank, new rods, new pistons, new camshaft. I mean, pretty much everything but the block will be new. And the heads look good. We'll clean them up real good. Should be able to use those. But that's where we're at on it for right now. This will be part 2 of the Big Blue build. And at this point, not today, but soon, we'll clean all our tools off of the truck and put the wheels and tires back on the front, lay the hood on it. And after that, we will roll the truck back outside while we work on the motor. That way we have our room back in our shop. But clutch on it was in good shape, but it is wore out. And there was a lot of heat marks on the pressure plate, but the flywheel, however, looks to be fine. We'll probably have it surfaced and put it back on, but we'll put new clutch, pressure plate, throw out bearing, pilot bushing, all that kind of stuff. All that'll be new when we go back together with it. So anyway, we're one step closer, and like I said, it's not as bad as it could have been. So I think hopefully we'll be able to save this block.